Some water first. Hey, we are live here with Ask Me Anything. And this is the first of a new series that I am releasing, which is called Ask Me Anything. And Spirit told me to do this and said, you're doing it on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And I tried to fight it and say, well, what about Thursdays? What about 3 o'clock? And they were like, no, Julie, it's 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. And you will stay committed to this. This is your time, and this is your tithing, is what they called it, because I am a spiritual teacher, and being asked to tithe and to give back to the community, and to show up in full presence and to be devoted to my mission work, which is to be a divine communicator. I just taught Manifest with Ease last week, and those videos are still up on our YouTube channel. So you can check that out. They'll be up until next week. If you missed it live, you can check out those videos. But we had a really amazing presence and attendance, and lots of great questions got asked. And I'm the divine channel that I just receive it and share it as it came through. I myself learned a lot in the sessions based on the questions that were asked. It was really a co-creation process, and we went where those who came and were live and were present wanted to go. So I am intuitively guided, and that's how I know what to share. I'm also feeling really called to be more consistent on YouTube, and I've mapped out a plan to be on YouTube consistently now, doing things like this, Ask Me Anything on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, I'm going to be doing pick a card readings, which are just really fun. Fridays, I'm going to be doing weekly messages from Spirit for the following week. Saturday's a wild card. Sunday, I'm going to be doing meditation, prayer. And then Monday was money messages, and Tuesday was business. So that's my guideline, and it's a loose framework. If I'm called to share something different a different day, I will. I'm guided, but that's where I'm feeling called to be more present on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to me there yet, go ahead and do that. And I am going to put a link in the chat for that if you come on and would like to join me on there. So just to make sure you get all the notifications. So I'm just going to add that into the chat here. Okay, let's see. Do I see the chat? Where's the chat? This happened. Oh, there it is. Okay, it popped in the bottom. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel is in the chat here. And another announcement is that we have our academy starting next week, which we're super excited about. And our academy is our container where we gather to support and encourage each other while we're launching our new dreams. So this could be a new idea you have for a book or a program, something that you've been wanting to launch and you have some hesitation around it. There's some procrastination going on. It could be fear of disappointment, fear of how will others receive this, what will they think, fear of failure, all of those things I have been through myself. And I know those things can hold us back and prevent us from releasing our gifts to the world. So the Academy was created to help people to gain the courage to release that which they desire to release, and to receive the accountability, the mindset support, the love from our community. So that's what the Academy is for. And if you sign up by tonight, which is June 8th, you do get our money intensive program as a bonus, and that will help you to improve your relationship with money. So you can befriend money on a deeper level to welcome more of it in. So that also, that's my last announcement. I just want to put a link in the chat to that as well. If you're interested in learning more about our Academy, the link will be there as well. And I'll also put it in the description box below in the YouTube channel. All right, so we are ready to get started with Ask Me Anything. And I decided to keep it open and see where Spirit wanted to go today. I have Oracle cards that I'm going to pull cards from. And then I'm going to start sharing channeled messages. And what that means is I just tap into my intuition. I ask my higher power, whichever ascended masters want to come to me today. I just spoke with Mother Mary this morning and she told me to let go. She said, let go, let go. And I looked at her statue that said mother to, what did she, it has been chosen, you've been chosen mother to all. And I was thinking to myself as also that mother, and she was saying, you know, part of our job is to let go as mothers. We need to let go. And then I thought about Jesus and what Mother Mary went through. That was her son. And I was like, wow, if she can get through that, you know, I can get through anything. And, you know, just having those messages and putting everything into perspective for what really matters and putting the priorities, you know, just putting everything into perspective. So Mother Mary might come through today because I just talked to her this morning. So we'll see what happens. But the Oracle card deck that I was called to start with is Moonology here. And it's by Yasmin Bolin. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull a card. I do close my eyes to tap into the energy. So I just ask you to be open to receive and just to trust that these messages for you are for you. You will know, you will feel it. You might feel chills, you might feel excitement, you might feel emotional, you might have a tear. Though that's how we know that it resonates with us, that sounds like our story or something that we need to hear. And chances are, if you are called to this group to watch this live or on the replay, you have been called, and there are going to be messages in here for you. If you come onto our Zoom call, then you get to ask the questions that you have live as they come through. You would just post them in the chat if you decide to do that. Otherwise, I will respond to comments after this is finished being recorded. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap into the energy, what wants to be shared tonight for those watching live and on the replay in regards to abundance, in regards to divine messages, whatever wants to come through tonight, general messages, we'll start with that. Angels, guides, ascended masters, where do we want to start tonight? What needs to be heard for the greatest and highest good of this community? What wants to be heard for the greatest and highest good? So you can see me. This is how I shuffle. All right. There's one. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. Pisces is a very emotional, watery sign, which is probably why I've been crying a lot. And then we got nothing will come of this situation. Void moon. That's a dark one. All right, let's see. So we got balance, spirituality, and practicality. Nothing will come of this situation. All right, so let's go ahead and tap in and ask what this is about. So it does feel like equal parts doing and receiving. So the practicality is about how we live our lives, you know, just being out and about, what we do on a daily basis, how we're living, how we're engaging with things, people in our lives. And then the spirituality is our higher self being tapped into the divine. And that is the part of us that is more open, expansive, and we're being asked to fuse the two together to bring more of the spiritual into the physical. So bring more of that spiritual into the physical. So incorporating spirituality more into our daily lives, like I was sharing earlier about speaking with Mother Mary or whoever you're called to speak with, or just higher power or universe, God, whatever sounds, you know, resonates with you. But incorporating that into your daily life is what we're being asked to do more often. Let me ask about the void mood. Sometimes we're not meant to know why. Sometimes we're just not meant to know why. You know, we like to be like, why is this happening to me? What's going on? What's the lesson here? What it's like right now, you're not meant to know all of the why. And that can be a really uncomfortable place for people. I'm going to open my eyes now. So that can be really uncomfortable, being in the dark. And this has multiple meanings. Being in the dark is about, you know, going to the depths of the muck, like getting in that muck and the tar and just being like, oh, things are slow, things are quiet, I don't know what's going on. And sometimes we're not meant to know why in that moment. It might come to us later, it might not. And it's about making peace with not always understanding all of it. And the trust is knowing that the divine always has a plan and always has our back no matter what it seems like. But we may not be privy to why ever. You know, when you think about relationships, sometimes people suddenly exit our lives and we're left with like, what? Like, I love that person. I had a great connection with them and they just left. They just like vanished. And we don't get that closure. You know, sometimes we don't get closure. And it's about releasing the desire to wrap everything up neatly and to know exactly, like, to like figure it all out, like releasing the desire to always try to control or to figure out why, and just to accept that sometimes there is no why. It's void, it's nothingness. I'm going to get one more card about that. I'm going to do a Power of Surrender by Judith Orloff here. What are we being asked to surrender in the void? Okay. Surrender to your soul's path. This looks like where I was this morning. I went to a park that looked just like this picture. Wow, that's amazing. It even has a bridge. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So no matter what, we're on our soul's path. So when it feels like things are dark and there's nothingness, that's still part of our path. So our soul always knows why, but we might not cognizantly understand why, or we might not know in our mind, but the soul always knows. So it's about trusting that you're on your path. Don't worry, you're still on your path. All right, I wanted to open it up for questions or anything you want to go into deeper with this message, or if you have anything about, you know, what we've shared so far, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I don't know. I like desperately want to know about my career, and I feel like I've been asking for what that's going to look like, and I just haven't gotten any answers.
What do you want it to look like?
I actually I kind of did what you did earlier. I closed my eyes and I mapped out what I wanted it to look like, and it involves like close relationships with like my future husband, a small family, you know, real estate, social media, all that kind of stuff. So
And what's your question?
just like, I guess, like, when is it gonna happen? Like, is it like, when is it gonna start to unfold to me that I'm either going to have this life, or like when it's gonna hit me? Oh, does that make any sense? I
Yeah,
don't.
so I think your answer is right here.
Mhm.
You're in the void like the rest of us.
Mhm.
And right now you're not meant to know all of it. And part
Mhm.
of it is in the fun of not knowing. And
Mhm.
the piece is like following the breadcrumbs, like one
Right.
breadcrumb, one breadcrumb, one breadcrumb. We think we want all of it at once. We want the partner, we want the family, we want the career. We think we want all of it at once. If we all of it came at once, we wouldn't fully appreciate it. We wouldn't enjoy it.
Right.
And we would miss parts of it. We would be overwhelmed by that. You
Yeah.
know, there's a reason why it's like the gradual release model. There's a
Mhm.
reason why the partner will come in, or a partner. It doesn't have to be the partner. You know, like my friend says, Mr. Right Now. He's Mr. Right Now. You know, and Abraham Hicks says, I like you pretty good. Let's see how this goes.
Mhm.
You know, and I was it's like it's accepting the right now, what feels right now.
Mhm.
What feels right now. Just in this moment, what feels right? In this moment, what feels right? In this moment, what feels right? And you can map it out all you want, and that's fine and great, but the divine will carry you on your soul's path no matter what. Like, you will be on your soul's path and it will happen the way it's meant to happen. But sometimes we're in this. We're in
Mhm.
the void. And
Mhm.
right now, you're in the void like the rest of us. We don't
Mhm.
know. It's the mystery.
Yeah, I feel like my life is so good now, and I feel like I'm hearing like part of my brain is like, I wonder what's gonna happen next. And then the other part of my brain is like, no, like you need to like just look at it for a second. Just like
And if that causes you excitement, I wonder if you're in the energy of, I wonder what's going to happen next. Ooh, I wonder what happened. Ooh, like that's awesome. That's beautiful. If you're in the energy of, ooh, like what's going on? Like I'm scared. I don't know. Like if you're in fear, then that's going to call things towards you to be afraid of, more things to be frightened of. But if you're in the energy of, ooh, like this feels good and this feels good and this feels good, like it really is about following what feels good in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. Kim said it's about being in the present, being in the now. Yes. Because I just said this to my coach the other day, like I've been getting so many spiritual downloads and just like, wow, like what's possible now? And where do we go from here? And she said, I invite you to consider that here is your destination. And why would you want to go anywhere when you're here? And in that moment, I was in absolute bliss. I was like giddy and laughing and just like, I feel love. I feel passion. I feel excited. I feel connected. I feel like I was so happy. And then I was like, now what? Now what? You know? And she was like, just sit in that. Just be in that. Be in that. Because eventually it's going to shift and something else is going to come in. Something else wants to be looked at. Something else wants to be healed. Something else wants to be released. But in that moment, that is the miracle. You know, we think the miracle is a sum of money, or the miracle is our love partner, or the miracle is this big breakthrough. Sometimes it is. And sometimes the miracle is in the clarity. Sometimes the miracle is in the void. That's a miracle too. The rest. That's part of the miracle. Kim or Shay, any questions or things you want to chime in about?
I raised my hand right now.
Oh, you got your hand.
I have my little hand. I intuitively feel the energy of a lot of people, just these eyes of not right now. It's that rush, 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 you know, summer break, kids. We need to take vacation. A lot of people are trying to catch up to what hasn't been able to be done. And I'm saying all this in quotation marks, in the past 2 years because of COVID and how everything shut down, and we have to make up and we have to do this, and we have these tickets. If not, these credits are going to be lost for hotels, for tickets, for whatever travel there might be. So I keep picking up this energy of not right now. It's almost time, but not right now.
My sister speaks for me. It's this. Everything keeps coming back to the void moon. And I think this, you know, some people did completely shut down during COVID. Some people went in complete hermit mode, which is just like, just everything goes quiet and they're just in the muck, in the silence. Some people couldn't work at all. You know, people who work in restaurants or people who work in person could not work at all. And they did some deep, dark work during that time. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them binged on Netflix, or some of them got addicted to alcohol or whatever. You know, people make different choices, but it's about how did you go through that? For me, I feel like I continued on as I normally would. I actually had a lot of spiritual breakthroughs during the pandemic. And I started my business during the pandemic. So for me, there was really very little rest. If anything, I did more during the pandemic. And now my soul is like, now we rest. So it's kind of like we're all on different timelines. And I traveled the whole time as well. Like I was like, this is awesome. The resorts are cheaper and no one's on the airplane. Like I didn't stop. Like I kept going, living my life. And I kind of enjoyed the quiet. I did. I enjoyed having less crowds around. I'm an empath and I feel everybody's stuff. So I liked that. I liked the social distancing was welcomed by me. I was like, this is
Can
great.
can I
Yeah.
butt in there real quick? When you say that, and I think this is a big thing that people really would benefit from,
Mhm.
is you're an empath. You feel that. We have so many people that are watching this that are empaths,
Mhm.
and they pick up that energy from others.
Mhm.
How and what do you do
Mhm.
to create that protection? Or is there a protection or not a protection? I would love to hear that, because I think that, people watching, it's like, that's unfortunately not right now kind of energy, because they pick it up from everyone else's energy.
Mm.
You literally stole that question from my mind. Like I was about to
I
do the like
might
raise
it might yeah, it might help a little bit. Like I always tell Julie, well, it sucks that you're an intuitive because we can't. You're in the
We
wrong
can't
spot,
hide
Samantha.
anything.
I'm
Can't hide
sorry, Samantha.
anything. We're like,
But
are you
yes,
reading my mind? And the answer is yes. We are reading your mind. And I will tell you that I do not spend a lot of time around crowds. I do keep my physical distance. I went to Washington, D.C., and I went to a museum. I was on a date with someone, and we went inside, and there was just people milling about. And I was like, I got to get out of here. There's too much energy. I can feel it. And I went outside, and shoo, I was so much better. I would say any chance you get to go outside, and you'll feel it. Like when your heart starts to beat, or you start, it's like a panicky feeling. And that's not ours. When I was on this date with this man who was lovely, like we had great conversation. I thought he was wonderful. It wasn't him. It was the crowd around us. And it could have just been one person in there that was really anxious and really worried about something. And my heart started to beat. I was like, God, I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack. And I was like, I gotta get outside right now. As soon as I get outside, the energy shifted. So if you feel that, it does help to question, like, is this even mine? If it's out of nowhere and you're in a safe situation, it's not the person you're with, or you can't pinpoint where it's from, chances are it is from someone in that area, and they don't even need to be in your close vicinity. Energy is very powerful. I mean, it could have been somebody like all the way on the other side of this building for all I know. But I felt it, and I went outside right away, and listening to your desires and your needs and acting on them. You're uncomfortable, get out of there. Empaths also have heightened senses. Like we can smell stronger. Our ears are sensitive. You feel it in your heart. Like you might feel a tightness in your chest. And all of that is indicators of absorbing others' energy. And something that I do when I get home is to cleanse my energy. I do use cleansing tools like sage and Palo Santo to cleanse myself. And I get them from Kim, her shop at Obra of Love. And that is a way to cleanse yourself when you get home. And you do it multiple times a day. Like if you feel this, as soon as you feel off, it's like a tool that we have. And like I said, you can always go outside. Like that, you always have access to the outside. If you can eat outside, if you go to restaurants, choose a table outside. I like to sit away. Like I don't sit in the middle of everyone. Like I usually sit in a corner, or I'll sit outside, so I don't feel everybody's energy around me. When I get on airplanes, I'm very intentional where I sit on the airplane. I also feel intuitively who to sit next to. I can feel their energy, and if someone doesn't feel welcoming, I won't sit with them. I sit in the front of the plane because I
and
feel
I'm
less
sorry,
of
Julie,
them.
to cut you
Go
off.
ahead, Kim. Yep.
Right there, because I know there's people that really would benefit from, you say, I feel that intuitively.
Mm-hmm.
Now we understand what that means.
Right.
Now, someone that's, let's say, a newbie or has not been able to experience that or doesn't understand what that is,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this is a great talk about in the academy. This is something that you go through and we talk about all that, you talk about what that means, but can you give a little snippet of what your little hands, I
The
love how you
knowing.
went.
It's a knowing, and also making eye contact with people, and you can feel their energy. Like if you're drawn to someone, there's like we all emit energy. We emit an energy, and we also emit a vibration. So chances are, if you're worried, if you're nervous, you're going to be sitting next to someone else who's also worried and nervous. So our work is to bring ourselves back to that sense of peace so that we're not drawn to other worry, other anxiety, other people also in that energy. We can shift that ourselves first. But it's also your instinct. Your instinct. It's like when they say, like, listen, like when you feel a weird feeling, like if you're about to get on an elevator and there's someone on the elevator and you just get this like sick feeling, I just feel like, don't go. It's your intuition saying this is not a match. Not necessarily you're going to be hurt, physically, but energy is also very powerful. And I have had experiences before after being with someone in low energy that it feels like actual bugs are on me. Like I could feel it like a parasite, like a physical, like itchy, like an itchiness. And again, if you're not attuned to these things, you just think, oh, I'm itchy. Oh, maybe I got a bug bite. No, it's energy. And if you spend time with someone that you feel a need to cleanse yourself after spending time with them, which I have done before, I invite you to consider not spending time with them anymore. Or setting really strong boundaries. Like we'll meet somewhere outside and we're only going to do like an hour lunch together and that's it. Like if it's a loved one and you feel like you need to go visit them every now and then. But I wouldn't have them come into your home. I wouldn't invite them into your close personal space. And if you can let them go, let them go. If it's a friend or someone that you just feel off around, or you feel like they complain all the time and you just feel like, ugh, why are you hanging out with them? Sam?
When you were talking about like, intuitive people, like you kind of get this like sick feeling when you're, when you can feel someone else's anxiety or whatever. I was watching a medium documentary with my mother and I could not sit through it. And I didn't understand why, but I felt so sick. And the minute I left the room, I felt fine and I did not understand.
Yeah, I was watching part of the Johnny Depp trial because it kept flashing up on my YouTube. And I was like, I'm curious about this. The headlines got me, right? And I was like, I felt so sick to my stomach. And I was like, you got to turn this shit off. Like, you got to get off of this. We have to be really, careful of what we consume, what we watch. If something's overly violent or just makes us feel icky, whatever that is, it just makes us feel icky. Listen to that instinct. And it's about protecting our own energy. If someone else is offended because you leave the room, too bad. Too bad. We have to protect ourselves. We have to listen to our needs. And it's just like if you're cold, you go and get a sweater. It's no different. You're cold, you go get a sweater. You're uncomfortable, you leave the room. My therapist used to say, you have a mouth and legs, use them. Right?
I just heard when you were saying all that, it's like you're waking up to being truly who you are.
Yes. Regardless of what anybody else thinks about that. And no longer worrying if someone's offended, or I will cancel. Like if I don't feel like going out, I'm not going out. And if someone pushes me, that's a red flag. If I say I'm not feeling well tonight, or I'm just not feeling it, I'm going to stand. And if they push, I was like, that's a boundary crossed. And that's also an indication of this person not respecting my needs and my desires that I have already voiced. I don't like that. And I listen to that, and I'm very aware. And when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. When they show you that they're not respecting your boundaries, when they show you they're not respecting your needs, when they are always, putting themselves first or throwing a little hissy fit because they don't get their way, believe them when they show you who they are. And also knowing that they're doing that because that worked in the past. It's worked on other people. They're just doing what they've seen work because they want to get their way. And it's not about getting our way. It's about tending to our own needs first, always. And I do this with my kids too. My kids are like, I don't want to sit outside. And I'm like, we're going to sit outside because mommy can't sit inside and be comfortable. Like, I'm going to make that decision. And I also respect that my kids do that too, that they voice their opinion. I love that about them. My daughter, especially, she is like, she will make it very known what she wants. She will make it very known. And I love that about her, that she voices that. And I praise that. That's great, you know, especially for women who are taught to be quiet and respectful and polite. No, like we've got needs like everybody else. Shay said, I don't watch the news anymore. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and we've also talked about, you know, certain friend circles changing and no longer feeling drawn to the same friends. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean that like you're a bad friend or something is wrong if you just no longer feel connected to a friend group, or you don't have much in common anymore. You don't know what to talk about. This often happens when you're on a spiritual journey, by the way. Like it's very common when people are on a spiritual journey. And some couples really go through it because, you know, you're married or you've been with your partner and one partner is on a spiritual journey and the other one's, you know, is but doesn't know it. You know, we're all on a spiritual journey, but some of us are more invested in it, more aware of it than others. And that's something else. And it's also about respecting where your partner is and not demanding that they come along with you. Let them be where they are. We can't convince them to be on it with us. We would love for them to come along for the ride because it's an incredible, amazing, rewarding ride. And they might not be ready. Maybe they will be later, maybe they won't. But it's about respecting and accepting where they are, not forcing our beliefs and you need to do this or you should really. We want our loved ones to experience the joy that happens when you're on a spiritual journey and when you're more self-aware. And we're all in different parts of the path. It's about acceptance for where everybody is. We're not any higher or any better, or any further along. We're on a different part, a different focus. Any other questions?
Okay, I got another question that came through.
Mm-hmm.
It's going back to the card that you pulled in the beginning, the first one, the Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So what I'm feeling is almost a question of how do we process these emotions? Is there any tools or techniques or anything that you can offer, you know, in guidance for these emotions? Because it's not the best of the ride a lot of times. So I'm feeling.
That's a great question.
I'm feeling a lot on that.
And a lot of us are taught to suppress our emotions. You know, we're taught from, you know, quieting a baby. Like we start this when we're babies. Like shh. And a good baby is a quiet baby, right? Like that's what we're taught. A good baby is a quiet baby. Oh, she sleeps through the night. Oh, that's so great. Like, and as a child, if you don't talk in class until you're called on, you're praised for that. I know I was. A good girl is a quiet girl. A good girl is quiet. A good girl listens. A good girl's polite. We're not here to be good girls. We're wild women, you know, and it's about allowing yourself to feel all of that. And that also goes with the animal instincts that we have. Like if you think of animals that are raw and they're wild and they have that, you know, like that energy, like that is part of the human experience too, that a lot of us suppress. And we think that's just for like sexuality or that. No, that's a part of who we are. That animal instinct that we also have access to. And it's very powerful. And also anger is one of those emotions that we're taught to avoid. It's not good to be angry. Like this person has like, you know, rage or, you know, they have all kinds of words for it. Anger is a human emotion and there is a reason for it as well. Anger is what started the revolution and anger is what causes change. So if you don't let yourself get to anger and you just live in frustration, you live in like, you live in boredom, nothing is going to change. You can live there forever. You can live in forever, or you can let yourself experience the whole range of it and get to enough of this, like anger, enough of this. and I will scream it out. I will cry. The other night I was like hitting my bed, and I like hurt my wrist. I'm like, ow. But I had some anger that wanted to be released. And I will even make animal noises when I do it now. Like now it just comes out of me and I'm like, like it's like animalistic. It's that like, and then after that, there's a peace that comes because that we are animals. Like we are no different. We're all creatures of the divine. Like just like the animals have those, they don't hold themselves back. Like an animal's not going to hold themselves back. And it's the same thing with humans. Like if we allow ourselves to feel all of it, then we also get to feel the whole range all up the scale too, all the way up to joy and ecstasy and bliss. You can't get there if you don't let yourself get really low and get in the muck of it, like we call it, like getting in, like being in the trenches, like being in that and just, it's void, it's dark, and that's probably a better way to describe it. Like it can be like fire, like burns, it hurts. It's like, ugh, and that is what causes change. That is what propels us towards what we do want. But when we spend forever suppressing it and holding our emotions back and saying, and people apologize all the time for crying. Women all the time are like, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, for what? For being human? What are you sorry for? An animal doesn't apologize for having their full range of what they do. Like, why are we apologizing for having emotions? Emotions is what makes us like real. It makes us feel things. Like we're here to feel things. We're in the elements. We have all these senses for a reason. We have our hearts. We have all of these things that we feel, and they're all beautiful. And it's also like allowing our children to be in that. And children are great at it. Like they're great at it until they're taught to stop, till they're taught that it's bad, that a good kid is a quiet kid. And then they have to go through this remembrance too and hope that they come to someone that like accepts them for who they are and teaches them that who they are is perfect and that we are here to feel all of it. And if you always avoid the pain by doing things that numb, like using alcohol or drugs or whatever your method of choice is to numb, then you're not going to get the full range. And also, I've noticed recently that I can feel other people's joy more than I ever have in the past. Like when they share something that's joyous, I feel it. Like I am them. Like in that moment, I am them. Same thing when people are in anger or upset. Like I can feel that with them, but it's like, and that's not, let me see if I can rephrase that. So it's where you are in the vicinity of it. So if I'm not in anger and someone's angry in front of me, it might make me uncomfortable if I feel in danger, like physically, or I'm just nowhere near it, so I can observe it in neutrality. But if I'm anywhere in the vicinity of joy, like my friend the other day just shared that she's, stepping out on stage and she's doing a one-woman show. When she shared that, I was there with her. I was in it. I was in joy. I was so emotional. I was so like bubbling with joy with her. And it's because I was in the vicinity of that. So I did feel that with her. But if you're not in the vicinity of it, if you don't let yourself, then you won't get that benefit either. Other questions?
So you spoke about letting anger out in a form of, yelling, screaming, and then going into that natural instinct. And then you spoke about also, feeling it and being in that higher vibration with someone else. Would there be any other tools that you would suggest?
Mm-hmm. So something that we do in the Academy and Free to Fly is a process called Reclaim Your Power. And what you do is you get in it. Like I'm scared of this. And I did this the other day with myself. And I asked myself, Julie, what are you scared of? And I was like, I'm scared of this. And I was like, Julie, what are you scared of? What are you scared of? I'm scared of this. I'm scared of this. Like, I just like God in it. And I was like, what else? What else, Julie? What else, Julie? Like, we don't even need another person to do this. Like, I did it with myself. And I was asking myself, what else? What else? What else? What else? Just like a coach would, just like I would do with my clients. But I did it myself. And I was like, what else? What else? What else is there? What else is there? What else is there? And I was like, this. And I got all the way out. And then I breathe, and then I just like let it out. Like anger wants to have a sound. Like, what sound does it have? What does release sound like? Release to me sounds like, Sarah Karp teaches Qigong, and that's like shaking the energy out. Like, she teaches it these moves and just like just shaking it out. And then when you feel like the energy has moved out of you, you will feel this like calm, and you will feel this peace. And from that place, we can tap into our divinity. We can ask our higher selves. We can ask our spirit guides, what am I ready to know now? That's one of my favorite questions. What am I ready to know now? And then I'll pull a card for myself, and I'll laugh, because it's like exactly what I was thinking about, or exactly the question I had. Bam, Spirit just answered it for me. And that is what we're going to be doing in the Academy as well. We're going to learn how to use tools like Oracle cards. And I've just been drawn to my pendulum recently, which is a crystal that spins. Like, it gives you a yes and it spins one way, or it gives you a no and it spins the other way. Not yet determined is like this. And it's powerful as anything if you have a yes or no question. So that's another tool, but we'll go into all of that deeper in the Academy. Shay, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I was looking at Kim's necklace. She was like,
oh, she's wearing one. Can you like show us on the camera, little Kim? Just hold it up. You see it? Yeah. So you see the shape of it. It's like a certain shape so that it spins. It's really cool. I forgot. I haven't used mine forever. And then I had some yes or no questions. And then Spirit was like, don't forget your tools. Like, just ask. It's there. And if it's a strong yes, it'll be like, no, and like, and then if it's like kind of yes, it's like, sometimes it like hits me. It's so strong. And I'm like, okay. Like, should I do Ask Me Anythings at 4:00 on Wednesdays? No, it was like crazy. And I'm like, I gotcha. Something else that starts to happen when you're on a spiritual path is you're going to have all kinds of things, activity around you. And it's like Pandora's box. Like, once you tap in and your guides get excited and they're like, she's listening. And they like knock on your door. And this actually, in the middle of the night, I heard an actual knock on my door, like in my bedroom. And I was like, there's no one here. I'm by myself. My children were at home, and knock on my door. And then yesterday I actually heard a voice out loud, and it was my spirit guide. And it was the first time I actually heard it audibly. Usually I have claircognizance, which is a knowing. It's just like an insert of a thought. And it's like an answer to a question I have, or it's something they want me to know. Yesterday, it was an actual voice, and it was whispering. And it was so reassuring and loving. And I woke up this morning in totally different energy. And that's something else. Like, just go to bed. Like, if you've had a crappy day, or you're stressed about something, go to bed. Like, the resistance can subside when we sleep, when we take a nap, when we meditate, when we go outside. Energy can shift like that,
It's so weird that you say, like, you heard the knock on the door and stuff, because as we were having this meeting, and my TV has only done this twice since I've had it, it just turned on. And I was like, is that?
They like to mess with electronics too. Like, definitely, I hear tapping sometimes. I hear my fan does it now. Like, I used to hear it in my freezer, and it was just like this Morse code. And I have yet to, I'm probably interpreting it subconsciously, because they do it all the time. And they use different things. Like, now they use my fan in my bedroom. But if I'm in other people's habits. Yeah, you get the gremlins. Yeah.
If it's right now, Mercury is in retrograde, so anything electric, like electronics, forget about it. Printers will shut down, computers will shut down, restarts, things will turn on, it's our energy. And also, that's, but I do have one more thing. Did
Sure.
you pull a card for surrender from the surrender deck?
Oh, I forgot. I have them here and I just started talking. Thank you.
I don't know
sister.
why.
Oh, wait, I did. I got surrender to your soul's path. Maybe we're supposed to pull another one.
I literally
Were you just
kept
thinking?
on thinking of the word sacrifice, and I'm like, my stomach is in knots right now because I was thinking about Duncan, my boyfriend of 5 years, and I heard the word sacrifice, and I was like, no, 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 no. And so it's really weird that you just said that.
I keep getting surrender, so maybe we need to either, I don't know if it's surrender for you, Samantha, or surrender. I feel like another card needs to be pulled from that surrender deck, if you don't mind, Julie.
Yeah. Okay. This is so fun. I had no idea how this was going to unfold, and this was literally just a thing of trust. So we got surrender obsessive thinking. And this one says, if you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help you to bring clarity and even solve the problem. Let me do some channeling for this. We can't figure it out with our mind. So the more we like manipulating a situation or just like, I need to know, the more we do that, it like pops out of our hand. So it's like the tighter you hold, it just pops out. Whereas if you have your hand open and relaxed, it's just relaxed. So you're being asked to just open your hand and relax, to let go and just relax.
And how are we surrendering to our soul's path?
How do we surrender to our soul's path? Sometimes you're going to be in the dark. It's about getting comfortable with the dark. That's a big message. I'm getting so many chills. I know my guides are laughing at me, but I feel like laughing right now. They're like, you got to get comfortable in the dark. I don't know if this is for me or many of us, but I know I'm a light worker. And I gravitate towards light. I gravitate towards sun. I'm a starseed. I'm just like, the sun feeds me. And it's like I'm a solar panel that like, I need the sun. I crave the sun. Once it gets dark, I start getting panicky. Like you'll hear it in my messages. Like earlier in the day, I'm happy and I'm good. And I'm excited and yay. And then night comes and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, oh my God. Like I get so anxious. And it's because I haven't fully trusted the dark. And this has many meanings. This is the dark in that I can't see. I'm used to seeing. I'm used to knowing what's next. I'm an intuitive. Like it makes me mad. It makes me annoyed. I'm used to seeing, spirit. Turn on the lights. And sometimes the lights don't work. Sometimes there are no stars. It's completely black. And there's just as much value in that as there is the time in the sun.
I'm hearing seeing the beauty in the darkness.
See the beauty in the darkness. Can you relax in the darkness? Can you just relax? Can you let the darkness surround you like a warm blanket? Even in darkness. I'm in joy even in darkness. I'm at peace in darkness. It's about rest. It's about surrender. It's about enhancing our other senses as well, because when it's dark, we can't use our eyes. We're going to be more in tune with our other senses because our sight is taken away in the dark, which is good because our sight limits us. What I see, I feel like is real. What I see with my eyes is what is real, and that is not always truth. You can't see things that are underneath the surface. You have no idea all the joy, all the goodness that is coming, that is happening beneath the surface. You have no idea. And you're not meant to know.
It's faith.
Yes. Faith in the dark. Releasing fear of dark.
The feeling in my stomach is gone.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And this is like an exercise you can do, is like to tense your fist or tense something and then to relax. Like tense, and then relax. The breath as well. When we're nervous or we're anxious, the breath is much more shallow. We breathe like higher. But if we can bring it lower, take those deeper breaths, the slow, intentional breaths.
And that while you're releasing, all that I could feel and all that I could hear was love.
Love. Love is all there is. What if
I
love is
feel
all there
like
is?
it's like a therapy session. Like, this is so calming now. Like, you like get through all the grit and stuff in the middle, and then like you're kind of towards the end and you're like, oh, I feel so good.
Yes.
Well, welcome to our Soul's Circle tribe, the Academy, the Free to Fly, everything. This is exactly what it is.
This is exactly it. This is it. This is the demonstration of what we do. It's all of it. We embrace all of it. None of it is bad. None of it is wrong. It's embracing the discomfort. And like Sarah was saying the other day, it's about getting comfortable in the discomfort. Because I choose it for growth, but also knowing that and I heard this the other day when she said that, it's not just getting uncomfortable with the discomfort, but when you really get into it, that discomfort goes away. Like it really, that you can get to that absolute place of bliss. And I get to, when I meditate now, I get to like, I get the giggles. Like, I'm just like, like, it's like, I just burst out laughing, and it is the divinity, like being with the divine. It is giddy. It is fun as hell, you know? And then I'm in that, I'm like, don't send me back. Don't send me back. Like, no, this is like so fun. Like, and I'll just stay in that as long as I can. And then I'm just like, okay, now we come back. We're here. We're not here to just stay up in the clouds all the time, as much as I'd love to. I came here to experience this and to meet people in the physical and to have lessons and interactions and physical pleasure, you know? But yeah, you can get there with meditation. There's lots of ways you can get there. Acupuncture, yoga, all kinds of ways. Well, this was so much fun. I am so grateful for all of you for being here, and for everybody who's going to watch on YouTube and is watching live and later on the replay. You know, where we go is dependent upon who's here. The questions that you have, I had no agenda today other than I am to show up in full service. I am to be here every week and to share whatever wants to be addressed and come through. If you feel called to our community, we do have our academy starting on June 16th. And this is what it looks like. It's doing the spiritual work. It's also, you know, looking at our business and doing the inner work that it takes to step into our desires, holding each other accountable on the days when we're like, never mind, I don't really want that. Like, I don't really need to move to California. I don't really. And we're like, we're not going to stand with you any lies that, you know, when you tell yourself you don't deserve what you want, you know, we won't stand with you any lies. So that's what we do in the academy. If you're interested, you can email me, julie@juliegetsinger.com. If you want to learn more about it, or just go to my website, juliegetsinger.com, and all of the information is up there. And thank you so much. Next week, we have a special guest coming on, and it's going to be an Ask Us Anything session. And her name is Kelly Folsom, and she is a fine artist. She's an oil painter, and she's on a mission to help artists welcome in abundance as well. She's all about allowing and, you know, helping people to step into their soul's path and to do what they're called to do, and to be, you know, financially successful, you know, to be spiritually attuned, just like I believe that it's all parts that, you know, create the success, not just money, but it's also balance and, you know, tapping into the divine, like all of that. She also practices that. So she's going to come on here as well, and it's going to be an Ask Us Anything. So come on out, if you're creative or if you're just interested in, learning more about abundance, that's what we will be focusing on next Wednesday. Yeah, so the schedule, here's where's my schedule? Here it is. So the plan is to have Mondays are money messages. So we're going to be answering questions around money, financial abundance. Tuesdays, we're going to be talking business. So any questions about growing our business. Wednesday is Ask Me Anything Lives, just like this. Thursday is Pick a Card. So you get to pick a card and the messages will be for you. Friday is weekly messages from Spirit for the upcoming week, so you know what to expect for the next week. Saturday's wild card, so that's wherever I feel called to go. And then Sunday's about meditation prayer. So check out my YouTube channel or subscribe to it so you're notified when the videos go live. I will be spending a lot more focus and time, energy there. So if you want to, be in touch with me, that's where I'll be a lot. I'll also be in Free to Fly and my academy. Those are the 3 containers where I'm going to be spending a lot of time. So yes, and you also get invited to Free to Fly after you graduate from the academy. So if you're interested in going on retreats with us and doing things in person with us, that's what you can do after you graduate from the academy. So yay! This is going to be on my YouTube channel. So that is where all these videos will be posted. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know in the comments things that you want me to do readings for. I'm happy to answer specific questions. If you ask questions in the comments, I will be checking that page as well. So yeah. Yes, and make sure to like it as well. That helps to support my channel and helps more people to see the messages. Invite your friends. If people have questions around spirituality or business, come check us out. So thanks for being here, everybody. Yay!